John, so congratulations on Recount and the launch, and it's a
Thank
kind
you.
of a crazy time, and you guys have raised a very nice amount of money. Tell us sort of where things are, a little bit about the thoughts of putting this together, and where you're going, and maybe some thoughts about operating in this climate that we're going through right now.
Yeah, it's a strange climate. And thank you for having me, Andy. Um, Recount Media, I think it's like the seventh company since 1992, back with Wired. This one feels a little bit different for a number of reasons. Most people I know in the media industry think it's insane to start a media company right now. I guess it's even more insane given what has occurred over the past month and is now starting to spiral as it relates not just to the media ecosystem, but to the entire global economy. But the story itself is so important. The story that we're covering is American politics. And, you know, Prior to the coronavirus becoming, pretty much the only story that existed in the national news was the United States political story. The two are now mashed together. And so while it's true that marketers are pulling back significantly, we're just getting started. And this story, is getting incredibly political, the coronavirus story. So our newsroom has never been hotter, in terms of their work in 24/7. We're putting out work every day, multiple times a day. We're just launching a new feature called Live, where we're posting clips hourly, if not more. There's just so much going on, and there's so much noise and misinformation and disinformation. And most of the sources where you might find news online are kind of dumpster fires. And that finding sort of a beacon of truth and journalism in, video, mobile video, online video, that's our goal. That's our focus, always has been. So for us, while the story is a scary one and a terrible one, it's also, somewhat thrilling to be on the front lines of it. And the funny thing is we're all working remotely now. We have a team of a little over 30 now, of which 2/3 are journalists. And everybody is working remotely, the way that you and I are talking now on Zoom. And, with Slack, with Zoom, with Hangouts, and all the other tools, we're putting out, some of our best work ever. So it's exciting. We still have a business to build. That's my job with the team that we have on the business side. But I'm actually quite excited about it. And I feel like we're at a tipping point in a lot of ways, both in the media business and more broadly in our political culture, where I think we're being reminded of how important it is to be engaged both in the political process as well as in being a good information-driven citizen. And so our mission of informing the public, and that the public has the right to understand politics and the right to understand the issues driving politics, I think has really been exposed to be extremely important. And so it's exciting to be involved in it right now.
So, John, tell us a little about the business model, about working with sponsorships, the revenue model, and also what your new round of financing will allow you to do.
Yeah. So we're a media company. So, our business model is not particularly unique. We work with sponsors. We had a launch sponsor in Bank of America and in Slack and a few others. We have an events business, which you can imagine is going virtual now. And we create, high quality intellectual property that we distribute for revenue. We're just getting started in all of those categories. We spent the first 6 months of the company, building the editorial product, understanding how it's best distributed, what's the best packaging, and the best, approach for the format that we chose, which is essentially the design. This is the design platform that we designed for. And distributing in that design platform, understanding streaming and OTT, we're in conversations with several dozen different distribution endpoints, and the business models are varied. Some of them, like the Rokus and the Plutos and the sort of the other streamers of the world, have revenue share models where they bring in advertising and you bring the content. Others have both that and the ability for our sales team to sell into their environment. We have our own owned and operated app and site where we can sell integrated sponsorships. We have a really nice newsletter business that's just begun to pop, where we've built over 50,000 subscribers in a very short amount of time, and we expect that to grow significantly. We're looking at social as an opportunity, not the only opportunity. A lot of companies have overbet on YouTube or overbet on Facebook. We're building deliberately there. We find Twitter to be a really good place to be. Or actually, as we speak, one of the things we made last night is trending on Twitter. So we're exploring all of them. And I think it's a time of great experimentation in the media business. There have been a lot of lessons learned in the last 5 years about what not to do. But you can't throw out the whole, the baby with the bathwater here. You can't say, can't do social, can't do distributed. You can, but you can't only do that. You have to have multiple revenue streams. The funding is going to allow us to continue what we're doing and expand it. Expand into new distribution endpoints, new kinds of programming, more programming, hire more people to create that programming. And start with original content, which we've begun already, with a slate of programming that's both short form and we're working on longer form that makes more sense for premium cable or, the streamers that you're familiar with, the Hulus and the HBO Maxes and so on in the world.
Great, John. And just tell us briefly about Heilemann and his role and how you guys work together.
So John Heilemann brought this idea, in a nascent form a year and a half ago to me. It's a fundamental question, which is, why isn't there a trustworthy place where you can go to find out what's happening in politics right now, today, online, on your phone, using video, which is clearly the medium of choice for the mobile phone. And I think the truth was there wasn't a lot of experimentation by traditional media in this space. And the business models were unstable and hard to predict. So it wasn't creating a trustworthy platform for high quality, journalism in video format. And it required rethinking a lot of things. So he had this idea and asked if we could work it out together, given we've worked together over the last 30 years doing a lot of things. He worked with me at Wired as our national affairs correspondent, covering the first, political journalist to cover purely online for Hot Wired back in the mid-90s. And so we've done a lot of things together since then. So we got excited about it. We shared the idea with our mutual friend, Fred Wilson, who also got excited about it and sort of joined us as an early financial co-founder. And, John is, our partner, equal partner, and one of the most remarkable political journalists of this time. So he runs editorial, I run the business, and together, we're trying to make Recount Media into something, important and long-standing.